It's time to wake up, witches. I'm your host, Kat Adams, and I'm here to remind you that no matter where you're at in life, you're not stuck. Happy Monday. It is the brand new start to a week, and I hope you kick this week's ass. And I want to know if you have been implementing any of the stuff I've talked about with the energy vampires, or going on your own journey in discovering the law of attraction. So drop me a note, write me an Instagram, send me a DM, write me on TikTok. I would love to hear it. Today, we're going to talk about the foundation, what I believe, one of the foundations of the law of attraction, and how you can apply it to what we talk about on this podcast, which is getting unstuck, especially from a toxic relationship. Now, personally, I don't use the law of attraction for this anymore. I used it back in the day without even knowing what I was doing. And I'll get into all that in a minute when I was stuck in my abusive marriage. But I don't need to use it for that anymore, because the last thing I want is marriage problems. And I have an amazing marriage now to an amazing man. So I'm not going to use it for that. Me personally, I'm going to use it for some other things I've been wanting. You can use it for anything you want. You can use it for, hey, I want to use this for a new job. I want to use this for a new car. I want to use this to find my smile again. I want to use this to buy, I don't know, something I've wanted for a long time, like some diamond earrings. Hey. Or I want to use this to just find my happy. I want to use this to find my purpose. I want to use this to move. I want to use this to move house. I want to use this to find the confidence to apply for that job. You can use it for whatever you want, no matter how big, no matter how small. You may have the question, when am I going to get this thing I've been trying to manifest? Well, I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be in 5 years. I don't know. But for me personally, how long did that take? I would say maybe 4 or 5 months. No, but that's for me. All right. Some people, it takes a lot longer. Some people get their shit the next day. And I'm thinking about, there's been 2 times in my life when this has really, really, really worked for me. And that was about how long it took for me to get what I want. But let me just tell you, sometimes you don't get what you want, or you get what, call it the universe, call it spirit, call it God, call it whatever you want, feels like is better for you, or where you're supposed to be. And that's why we're going to talk today about visualization. So the first step, or one of the first steps, it's kind of a combo in the law of attraction, is you need to get very specific about what you want. Very, very, very specific. So for instance, for the purpose of this toxic relationship niche podcast, I'm going to say, if you're listening to this and you're in a toxic relationship, you can use this to build your way out of that toxic relationship. So you could say things like, I want to divorce my husband. I want to find a healthy relationship. I want to have the confidence to file for divorce. I want to have an amicable split. Although if you're with a toxic person, I don't know how that's going to work. You can say things like, I want to be financially independent so I can divorce my husband. I want the confidence to go get a job so I can get the money to file for divorce. Things like that. You have to be so freaking specific. And let me tell you why. I was not specific one time. One time I said, I want to build an empire for abused women. And I really got into this whole manifesting thing around that. All right. I did. I built an empire for abused women, but it was not mine. I work in a place that's basically was an overnight success for abused women. And my amazing boss, I knew her when there was like 15 people in the company and I got the job. And now it's like, oh my gosh, they're opening these centers in multiple cities across the US. And I'm like, she has built this huge freaking empire. She is, I mean, it's just beyond, it's got to be beyond her wildest dreams. It's beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm like, dang, man, I built an empire. I didn't build my empire for abused women, but I helped her. And I think that's awesome still. Still is not mine. Not exactly what I meant, universe. Haha, funny, funny, funny. Get specific about what you want. And take your time. Take your time on figuring out what exactly that is and how you want to word that. Because then you're going to start visualizing it. And what I mean by visualizing it is you're going to put that dream front and center everywhere you look. My favorite thing to do is a vision board. I have a vision board. Every year I make one at the beginning of the year. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it'd be really cool to just make specific ones like I'm telling you to do, which I've never done. But because I have my whole goal list for the year and I have a lot of people use this digitally. Okay. And I ain't knocking that. You can use it digitally if you have, like some kind of collage picture maker on your phone and gather some pictures of what your dream looks like. So if, say you want to find the confidence to be happy and financially independent so you can leave your husband, I don't know. Remember, you're going to have to get super specific on that. If you have like, I don't know, say a retainer for a divorce lawyer is $5,000 and that's what you need and that's all that's holding you back, I'd start there. You need to manifest that $5,000. But also don't forget what you're going to do after that either. But anyways, get specific. On this vision board, digitally, or like I said, I have a little bulletin I have beside my desk. Print out what that looks like. So you can write down on a Post-it, $5,000. You can put a picture on your phone digitally on this collage, a picture of divorce papers, a picture of divorce lawyers, a picture of you finding your smile again, what you think that looks like when you're free from this toxic relationship. So whatever you're going for mine, I'm looking at it now. Let's see. My manifestation board this year had a trip to Oregon on it and did it. It had a trip to Disney World on it. Did it. Let's see. It's far away from me and it's dark in here. What else? Healthier stuff, working on it, and a bunch of other little monetary things. Some I've got, some not, some still in the works. Start a podcast. Hey, doing it now. But things like that, get specific. Put on there. If you want a new car, put your new car on your manifestation board or on your digital manifestation board. Put it on your screensavers. Basically, you want to see every day, all day if you can, your goals. So whatever those goals look like, if you want to lose weight, go find a picture of yourself when you were 10 pounds lighter. Put it on front and center on your screensaver on your phone. So you have to see it every day. And I actually think this is really fun. That's why I do it at the beginning of the year, because I like goal setting. I like list making. I like checking stuff off a list. It makes me feel so good. So that's where I'd start. I would start by visualizing in a way where your goal is front and center in your face, whether that's a vision board you have on your desk, which it probably won't be, because if you're in a toxic relationship, you need to hide that crap from your husband. All right. Do not ever tell him you plan on leaving. Do not tell anyone you plan on leaving, because that is danger territory. So if you're having trouble figuring out, oh my gosh, where I'm going to put this, maybe you have a second screensaver on your phone. I know Apple does that where you can like swipe different screensavers. Maybe try that. Whatever you need to do, you just need to make sure that you're seeing that goal as much as possible. Now, there are other ways to visualize. And my second favorite way to do this is daydreaming. Or more than likely, I'm not daydreaming because I'm always too busy during the day. But when I go to sleep at night, and I'm about to tell y'all something so cheesy that I was doing when I was married, and I didn't know I was doing this, specifically law of attraction, but I was. And it was my escapism. And I highly recommend this if you're stuck and you don't know how to push through. I escaped in my head. I escaped in my books. I had to escape, and I couldn't. I wasn't ready. But I did escape in my head. And every night when I laid down, I was still married in my abusive relationship, okay? I tried everything to get my partner to be the partner I needed. Like, I tried everything, okay? For 15 years. I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be loved. So I'd lay my head down at night, close my eyes, and I would think about my future husband. Had no idea what he'd look like, but I knew what he would be like. And no matter my day, which most 99% of my days were horrible, I can go look back at my pictures and I never smiled. And so many people had told me that. It was the first thing when I got divorced. People were like, you look so different. You're smiling. But anyways, I would say in my head, because I am dramatic, Enneagram 4, I would picture myself talking to my future husband and just laying in bed and telling him about my day. And I would always start it with like, dear future husband, right? How cringe is that? But let me tell you what, it freaking worked. It worked in two ways. It was my escapism I needed when I was stuck in that bullshit. But it also worked because, hey man, I got that man and he loves me. And oh my gosh, that's all I wanted. Healthy relationship, right? Now that wasn't an overnight thing at all. But I have no doubt if I was practicing this law of attraction stuff like completely back then, oh my gosh, it would have gone so much faster. I didn't know about it, but I'm telling you about it. So yeah, drama me was like, dear future husband, let me tell you about my day. Guess what this asshole did to me? In my head, of course, yeah, I can't be saying that out loud when my asshole husband is sleeping next to me. But that's what I did. And the night before my wedding to my now husband, I wrote him a letter, and it started with, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. It started with, dear future husband. And it said, I explained it, and it said, that's the last time I'm going to say that because tomorrow you're going to be mine. Oh my God, I got to pause it. All right, I'm back. That got the tears flowing this morning, but yeah. Needless to say, I don't have to say that anymore. Dear future husband, this future husband that I've built up to help me get through my days. And he was helping me get through my days when he didn't even know it, because I built up this amazing man in my head and I got him. So I guess you could say I manifested the T. But yeah, cool how that works. But that is one of the cheesy things that I used to do in visualization to get me where I wanted to go. Every night I did it and it helped. It helped so much. It was therapeutic. So visualize what you want throughout the day. You don't only have to do it at night before you go to sleep, although now every night when I go to sleep, I'm visualizing us in our dream home. That is one of our mutual, actually, my husband and I, manifestations. Is moving out of Tennessee. I talk about it all the time. Oh my gosh. Talk about visualization. You know what I do when I go on trips, especially out west, Yosemite, Oregon, Lake Tahoe, I buy so much clothes. I buy like shirts that say like Tahoe, shirts that say Yosemite, shirts, hoodies that say Oregon. I have candles from Oregon. I get, I'll take like a rock from the beach. I think you're not supposed to do that in national parks. I'm so sorry. I hope that's not bad juju. But I'll get like a rock or something, and I surround myself with the mountains and where I want to be. So that's part of my long-term visualization. I'm not ready to move yet. I know I'm not ready to move yet. I've got a lot of loose ends I have to tie up here. But I have a lot of stuff all around me. My whole house, I completely redecorated it in like some, again, being dramatic here, dramatic foggy mountains and forest photos and just beautiful stuff. I have in my great room a whole bookshelf of all of our travel things like souvenirs and stuff. So decorate your house and what you're wanting to manifest. Like I see this shit every day. That is my visualization. My home is a walking vision board. Make your desk a walking vision board. Whatever it is, wherever you see it, just make sure, again, it's front and center. So back to daydreaming. Daydream on long commutes. I have a long ass commute for my daughter when she goes to school, and she's back in school now. And let me tell you, I've had to change my mindset around it because I freaking hate it. I'm in my car like 3 hours a day taking her to the best school I can because there's no schools around where I'm at. So I have to drive really freaking far, and it pisses me off because I lose 3 hours a day. But I've changed my mindset, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful for this commute because I can visualize. And I used to use my commute to think of plots and stuff for my books, and it worked out so well because I'd have the music going and just ideas would come to me when I was brain dead driving. Not brain dead driving because I was being careful. You know, I was present. I'm not saying like I'm a reckless driver. No, you know what I'm saying. I had the time to daydream while driving. Don't get to do that much anymore because I've taken a break on writing on my fiction, but I do get to visualize. And so now I'm dreaming about the things that I want in my future. Most specifically, usually that move to the West Coast, what that looks like, what my home's going to look like, what it's going to feel like the first day when I get those keys, what it's going to smell like out there. Is it going to smell like forest, or am I going to be by the coast? Is it going to smell like the ocean? That's how deep into visualization you need to get. So don't only surround yourself with like things, but visualize down to the details. What are you wearing when you sign those divorce papers? Are you still wearing your wedding ring? What are you going to do after you file for divorce? Are you going to go get yourself a bottle of champagne? Or are you just going to go take a walk by the lake? What perfume are you wearing? What are you going to smell like? I mean, come on. Anything and everything you can think to put yourself in that moment of your goal you're wanting, that's visualization. I'm looking at my desk here, and I have an essential oil I bought in San Francisco called Dark Forest. And it smells divine. It smells exactly like it smells every time that we went to California and went in the woods, kind of like a pine or cedar or something. I don't know. But I wear this all the time, especially if I'm doing like some manifestation work, like getting really into it, deep woo-woo. We'll get into that later in the podcast. But yeah, whatever you can do, rub that oil on you, go get you something that makes you feel like a badass bitch, some kind of perfume, badass bitch who's about to be single. Wear that shit every day. Visualize what your first date outfit when you meet your man on Tinder is going to look like after your divorce. Or maybe you're like, I'm so sick of men. I hate men. I don't ever want to see men again after my divorce. And that's fine too. Visualize what you're going to look like when you take that solo trip that you've always wanted to do. And guess what? There's going to be no drama because your asshole husband is now your asshole ex-husband, and you ain't got to deal with that shit. Visualize what that looks like on the other side for you and put it everywhere in your head, all over your screensaver. Whatever you need to do, just do it. And I promise it's going to help you get to where you want to go. Hopefully sooner rather than later. There's a lot more actions you have to take, but this is like the main thing. And it's crazy. I have read the craziest stories about this visualization stuff. One is by someone who taught me what the law of attraction is in of itself. They had this screensaver. They were living in their parents' basement, and they had this screensaver of this house and like this Lamborghini or something in front. And oh my gosh, it was like, I don't know, it wasn't that much longer after. Maybe it was like, I don't know, we'll just say 2 years. They ended up with that and they took a picture and it was like the same. And then I don't know if you ever checked out that whole Law of Attraction podcast, which I highly recommend, Francesca Amber. She had printed out, this is kind of a be careful what you wish for story. She printed out a picture of someone that she wanted. She didn't even know who he was. I don't know where she found him. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I know she's talked about it before. And she put it on a vision board because she was looking for love. Printed this guy out. And I'm pretty sure that was the guy she married. And she met him like later on in life and they married or something. I don't know. They did get divorced and stuff like that. So again, it's one of those be careful what you wish for. But it's crazy how this works. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. And if you're like, this is crazy, this is stupid, this is some, what do they call it, quantum physics, woo-woo shit, don't knock it till you try it. At this point, if you're in your life, if you are stuck and you're like feeling miserable, what do you have to lose? I mean, what is this going to do negatively to you? Nothing. This is all positive vibes. This is trying something new. This is opening your mind and seeing how you can shape your reality. Instead of just sitting back and being a spectator in your life and going through your life in survival mode, this is taking action and taking accountability for your life. This is going to get you unstuck. So take some time this week, figure out exactly what you want, and then put that shit everywhere. Wear your single hot mom outfit. Go out in it. Go pretend, go out for coffee wearing your hot mom outfit and pretend that this is me when I'm single and it's coming soon. You have to believe it. You have to believe it's coming to you, which leads me to affirmations. That's the second part of this podcast I want to talk about real quick before I close it out. But affirmations is, again, like I said, writing that out every day. Not saying, I want to get a divorce. You're saying, I commit to getting a divorce. I commit to becoming financially independent and believing it, feeling it. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to you to be financially independent? Are you not walking on eggshells anymore when you go shopping because you have your own bank account? Are you confident enough to tell your husband, fuck you, I don't have to put up with this anymore, so you can leave and you can buy that house or rent that apartment or get somewhere safe with your children or your dog, whatever it takes? What does that feel like? You have to truly feel it. You have to write that down. Write it down every day. Personally, I wrote it down every single morning in this little journal I have. I wrote my affirmations every day. And I understand if you're in a toxic relationship, especially with an abusive man, you don't want them to see those things. So my recommendation for that one is trace it somewhere with your finger. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, it works. I would make a ritual out of it. And when I got into that shower at the end of the night, I would make sure I was visualizing, washing away all my bad juju from the day. If you're in those relationships, you got a lot. Wash that shit down the drain. And then trace on the shower wall those affirmations. I commit to finding a healthy relationship. I commit to leaving my abusive relationship, or whatever it is. Just trace it where they can't see it. Don't be writing it in a journal. You don't want to put yourself in any dangerous situation. You don't have to do it in the shower either. I just like to make rituals out of things. Trace it on your wrist while you're watching your kids play at the park. Whatever you do, just make sure you're staying safe and make sure you're writing it down. And when you're writing it down, you're taking that moment to be in the present moment and feeling and visualizing what that feels like. So affirmations every day, every single day. Make a time where you do it, but make sure that's lining up with your visualizations. So they kind of go together. And that's why I said they kind of go hand in hand. Now to me, the way I see law of attraction, I think there's 4 foundations like that all come together for this. 4? Is it 4? I don't know. Maybe I'll say 5. Anyways, the biggest 2 is, again, affirmations and visualizations, which is why we're starting here. Now, next week, I hope to talk about some other things that I believe is going to help you in this journey. And again, it's those foundations of how to practice this, how to put it into practice in your life. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I know this is a lot. And it takes a moment, especially when you're in an abusive relationship, to wrap your head around this and to be able to fully commit to this, because I know your emotions are up and down every day. You never know what to expect. You feel discombobulated. Everything's chaos around you. And it's going to take a little bit for you to get into the routine and rituals of going down this journey to get what you want. Now, let me be clear. This is not, I'm going to wish for something and it's just going to happen. Hell no. This is going to take some work. And if you're not going to be fully committed, then it's not going to work for you. But it does take work. It is not, I wish for a Lamborghini and it's just going to pop up. No, if you're expecting that, don't. That's not going to happen. Don't even bother doing this because it's going to waste your time. This does require a lot of work. Sometimes it can be draining, but sometimes it's like super amazing and you get super energetic. And how do you know if it's working? Now, this is going to sound woo-woo. First of all, you're going to feel different. And every time this has worked in my life, and I think I even recorded a podcast when this was working, I did feel discombobulated, but and I don't even know if that's the right word. I need to Google, am I using that word right? I felt this chaotic energy and I knew something was coming. I knew it. And when you're doing the law of attraction, you have to believe something's coming anyways. But I felt it in my physical being, which is exactly where you want to be. Also, angel numbers, y'all. Oh my gosh. Signs and angel numbers pop up for me everywhere, especially once I'm about to get something that I have been trying to manifest. If you don't know what that is, it's when you see like 11, 22, 222, 11, which is supposed to be like the super magic one. You can go down a rabbit hole, look on Google about angel numbers. But if you're seeing synchronicities like that, signs like that, you know, like you're on the right track when you're noticing. And I'm not sure, some people are like, oh, it's just a coincidence. You're seeing all these signs. Like if you say, hey, I'm trying to manifest this red Lamborghini. You start seeing red Lamborghinis everywhere, right? I don't know the science behind it, but I know that shit's true. So if you are seeing synchronicities, if you're seeing signs, ask for a sign. I've done that. I've talked about it plenty of times. I'm not sure on this podcast. It's in my book, which is up for pre-order, which is coming out soon. But, yeah, like you will know. You'll know if you're on the right track. You're going to feel it in your bones and you're going to see it. You're going to see some crazy-ish happening and it might freak you out. It freaked me out so much the first time. I was like, something is going on and I'm scared. Honestly, seriously, I got scared. It was stuff that was happening that was just too creepy. But you're going to know you're on the right track if you see those things. So take your time this week. It's going to be a lot of work. That's why this is going to be a long session. And I'm hoping by the time the new year rolls around, you'll be ready and you'll have that manifested confidence or whatever it is to move forward for a happier 2024. That's all I got for you today. Let me know how it goes. I would love to hear from you. I want to know, what are you working on? What are you implementing? What does your vision board look like? Show me. What are you doing? And I can share it and I can tell everybody else and maybe they'll get ideas. The whole goal behind my podcast and what I do is to help other women escape these toxic situations. So if you have ideas, share them and I'll let everybody know. Go to bed tonight escaping to your dream world or your dream man in your head, knowing that you're working to be unstuck. Thank you so much for listening. If you love the show, please leave a rating, a review, and if you know anyone who also might love the show or who could benefit from this information, please be sure to share it and subscribe. The more we get this out to people, the more people we can help. And I truly believe there's so many women who need to hear these words because so many women are feeling stuck. Also, if you're looking for me, you can usually find me on the gram at author Kat Adams, and be sure to head over to my website, and that's Kat Adams, Adams with a double D's.com. Subscribe to my newsletter for the latest information. Also, when you subscribe, you're going to get a free novella. And just be forewarned, my raunchy rom-com is as dirty as my mouth. So if that's your thing, go for it. It's super hilarious. But thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, please stay safe and I'll see you on the other side.